This video is for anyone out there that is thinking about pulling the trigger on an investment property, but you have no idea where to start. You've probably had someone talk to you about creating multiple streams of income or financial freedom or whatever it may be, and it typically revolves around investment properties. I mean, shoot, it's been on my mind for a while, and it's been something that I've wanted to do for quite a while, and it wasn't until recently that our family finally purchased our first investment property. In this video, I just wanted to outline our approach and some of the criteria we were looking at in an investment property as to why we chose this specific one. Number one is to know that area. So when you're choosing a location, make sure that you understand the types of properties that are in that area. Are there multiple homes that are very well kept and more on the expensive side, or are the homes relatively smaller and they're gonna offer more affordable options for renting? And a side note, it's also important to look at the economic contributors to an area. So look at everything from job force to future growth potential, anything that's gonna enhance that area. So for me, I was honing in on Titusville. I like the growth potential of the privatized space industry. I like the commute for military bases. And overall, I just see a lot of potential in Titusville. Once you identify an area, the next critical component is to partner with a knowledgeable real estate agent. These agents are going to be able to give you a market value of the properties you are honing in on. Now, ideally, you want to be able to purchase this property between 10 and 20% below the market value. This is going to help you in the emergency event that you need to safely offload the property to liquidate your assets. It's also going to help you out what we're about to talk about next, return on investment. And lastly, we're going to talk about return on investment, or ROI, because investors love acronyms. This is the part where we're talking about how much money are you going to be making. So you can literally just Google rental calculator online and you'll come up with a ton of different calculators out there. My personal favorite is offered by a company called Bigger Pockets. They offer all sorts of stuff about investments. Now, what we use is what's called a cash on cash return on investment. So you take your annual cash flow, which is your rent minus all the expenses for the property. That's your principal, your interest, your insurance, and your taxes. And then you take that and you divide it by the amount of money that you initially invested in the property. Now, considering that if you took $40,000 and invested it into stocks, you might see a 5 to 7% return. For properties, I'm comfortable with anything above 10%. Now, this property here is bringing us a little over 14% on an annual basis. And a side note, a really simple metric to use is what's called the 1% rule. So this is where you take a rent or a prospective rent for a property and divide it by the purchase price. And if it equals 1%, you're probably in a safe range as far as an investment is concerned. So an example given, let's say you purchased a property at $100,000, it should be renting at $1,000 or greater. When it comes to investments, there are a lot of different options out there. You have people that flip property, people that rent property, people that wholesale. So ultimately it comes down to the goals that you want to achieve. For us, we wanted to create a long-term rental portfolio and start being able to own these properties outright after about 10 years. So we'll be taking all the profits from each rental we have and we're paying off the principal on an annual basis. By the 120th mortgage payment or around that 10-year mark, we should start owning properties free and clear. Now, if you're interested in purchasing your first investment property, or maybe you want to add to an existing portfolio, please feel free to shoot me a direct message online, and I would love to chat with you about all things investments.